Hello everyone, my name is Жанна Bukibaevna and welcome to my course. Today we're going to talk about modal verbs, especially can, could, may, might. So if you're ready, let's begin. So first of all, let's look at the formulation of these modal verbs. All modal verbs have the following features in common. They're always followed by the infinitive without to. They're the same for all the pronouns. They do not need auxiliaries. They take direct negative and question forms. And finally, they never combine with another modal verb. So let's look at some common mistakes. The very common mistake using an infinitive with to. I can to sing here. So remember, the modal verbs take the infinitive without to. It should be I can sing. She could running fast. It should be she could run fast. Second common mistake is conjugating he, she, it, and ending s to the verb. Remember, modals are the same for all pronouns. So here it should be she can swim. It might rain. Also, it might rain should be. The third category of mistake is using auxiliary verb with modals. Modal verbs direct questions and negative forms. So the correct question is, can you do this? Correct negative is, he may not like it. Okay? And finally, as we have said, modal verbs cannot combine with each other. For this sentence, you can just keep modal verb can. She can come tomorrow. Or you can use synonym for can. She will be able to come tomorrow. Right then, let's look at the usage of each modal verbs. For example, can. The first usage is to express ability or lack of ability in the present or future. For example, I can see you at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Can you manage that? Or they cannot dance. Or they can't dance. Contracted form. Second usage of can is giving or not giving permission. For example, you can use my office. Or you cannot smoke here. You can't smoke here. You'll see later that asking permission, we use the modal may. Moving on to could. The first usage is, again, ability or lack of ability in the past. Notice in the past. For example, I could read without glasses last year. I could not sleep last night. I couldn't sleep last night. Right, the second common usage of could, making a request. In this case, always in the question form. For example, could you repeat that, please? Could we have a break, please? And the third usage of could is making a suggestion. In this case, could is used only in an affirmative sentence. What do you suggest we have for dinner? We could have fish. So moving to may. The first usage is asking for permission. For example, may I use a pen? May we have a look? And to remind you to give permission and not to give permission, we use can, as we have just said about it. Second usage of may, a strong possibility in the present or future. For example, it may happen again. She may not accept the offer. And finally, let's look at might. The first usage is a possibility in the present or future. For example, it might happen again. We can also say it could happen again. In this case, second example, she might not accept the offer. And final second usage of might, a possibility in the past. In this case, it's followed by have done. He might have missed his train. Once again, you can use a could. He could have missed his train, but not in the negative. I might not have managed to convince her. Just a little note on possibilities. May can also be used to show a possibility in the past, but it is less common than might and could. So he might, could, may have missed his train. We can use these three models. However, you must avoid using may in a third conditional sentence. If I had studied more, I would, might, could, but you cannot say may have passed my test. So you should avoid using may. And one more thing. We can overuse modal verb can. In very informal contexts, we tend to use can instead of the appropriate modal verb. Although this is acceptable, it is always best to use a correct modal verb in formal situations and in exams. Let's look at some examples. For requests, in an informal situation, you might hear, "Can you open the door?" However, correct modal is could. Could you open the door? Asking for permission. Once again, in informal, friendly context, you may hear, "Can I use the phone?" But the correct modal here, may. May I use the phone? To make a suggestion, you might hear, "We can meet next week." The correct modal here, we could meet next week. And finally, for possibility, in the present or in the future, it can happen again. As we have said about it, there should be may, might, could. You can use it of these three models in this sentence. So, okay, it's time to have exercises. In this exercise, I'd like you to choose among the modal verbs. Let's begin. You speak German. Can you speak German? Yes, Yes, I can. I speak it fluently when you lived in Germany. I could speak it fluently when we lived in Germany. Why do you ask? I need this letter translated into German. Do you think you do it? Do you think you can do it? Let me see. Yes, I be able to. I might be able to. It take a little time though. It could take a little time though. And of course I need a dictionary too. I may need a dictionary too. I borrow yours. May I borrow yours? Of course. Oh wait, my sister have taken it. My sister might have taken it. Let me go and have a look. Note here, you borrow it. You can borrow it. Oh yes, your sister is a German teacher. You have asked her. You could have asked her. She is on holiday at the moment, and this, wait. This can't wait, should be. I need it for tomorrow. I not be able to do it for tomorrow. I might not be able to do it for tomorrow, but I do it for Wednesday. But I can do it for Wednesday. Wonderful. You email it to me when you have finished. Could you email it to me when you have finished? Sure.